Welcome back to the channel where we all can learn and grow together. Today I got a little bit of a project. I'm going to be cleaning up an area that's been long overdue for some TLC, and we're going to build us a little area for a wood pile. So what we have here is some material. I went out and did some odd jobs and earned some extra side money to be able to pay for this material here. We got some 10-foot 1x6s. We got some 8-foot long landscape timbers we're going to use as fence posts, and we got some concrete, and we got some 2-inch nails. This area is kind of not my best version of upkeep around here. I got everything else looking real nice and trimmed. There's some areas there that belongs to the railroad that but some of this here definitely needs some TLC, and there's some wood pile and brush out there that I need to bring over this way once I get built what I get built. But there's some long logs in here I need to cut up and pull out of here. There is some poison ivy in here, so I'm gonna have to wear gloves and keep myself protected, and be careful how I touch this stuff. Ooh, it's looking better already, I should say. I ended up pulling those logs out of there. I got a little electric chainsaw I'm gonna be using. I'm gonna cut those up. I wanted to show this here on my postal digger here. I got a couple markings, and depending on the depth I'm wanting to go on my post, I will use one or the other markings. Now this one here is at 2 feet, so when I'm putting an 8-foot post in, and I'm wanting to put 2 feet of it in the ground. Some areas you may put it less, you may want to put it more, but I'm putting mine about 2 feet in the ground. And I meant to say, because I wanted to actually show these marks really good, because over here where I'm working it's sunny, and I'm not too sure how well they'll see the markings. But what I go ahead and do, if I don't trip over stuff, when I dig my post, so when I set that in the hole, I could then set me something like a stick, a ruler, tape measure, anything you want to stick across there, and I can match it up in that hole. Now I know it won't be a perfect 2 feet, but I know it's close enough. Okay, what I got here is 4 8-foot landscaping timbers where they're kind of rounded on 2 ends and they're flat on 2 ends, and I got 4 of those, and I got them approximately, and they're not perfectly squared up or anything, but it's around about a 6-foot span, and that 6 foot is actually from the outside to outside, or kind of, it's not going to be like an inside to inside 6-foot span. It just be somewhat close. And then the same thing, 2 feet, so it's 6 feet and then 2 feet. And then what I did is on my little makeshift compound miter saw station or chop box station, I cut 4 2-footers and 2 6-footers out of 2 10-foot long 1x6s. Okay, what I did is I used my speed square and measuring tape and measured 5 feet to this line, or 3 feet, I mean, apologize, 3 feet and 5 feet, which would also be the same from this. It'd be 3 feet and 5 feet, because I also double check, because these are 8 feet long, and sometimes they're not exactly 8 feet. Sometimes they're a little taller than 8 feet, and sometimes they could be shorter, but I think I got lucky and these are right on 8 feet, which is very rare. You get anything exact measurements, but they're not the straightest things in the world, but I also got them a little cheaper than normal. They're discounted a little bit. Now what I've been doing is when I put this here in these holes, and I don't really match up that perfectly, but it matches up good enough, is I just been mainly making sure it's level, because the ground is not level. So just because I dug these holes the same depth, since the ground itself is not level, that would not make this level. What I ended up doing is, once I put this apparatus in here like this, I just kept lifting. Ended up being this side, I ended up lifting up higher than level and using some of these rocks in this crowbar to work underneath there. So I'm not like pulling the whole thing completely out of these two holes here that I dug. I'm just doing one side and then making sure the rock goes underneath, and then I'm making sure that this itself is level that way. So as you see now, as rain and stuff comes around and moistens this ground and everything, it may cause this to shift, it may not, but hopefully with a little bit of gravel and stuff under there, and when I get ready to concrete it, I'm gonna have to probably dig out just a little bit around here to make sure that I could get concrete all the way around. I know I'm kind of doing this a little bit unorthodox, but that's kind of the way I do here. Now what I got here is a couple clamps. Those was helping me hold that board in place, but because I only needed to adjust that post to make sure these are level, I don't have to adjust any post. All I got to do is make sure when I screw these to these posts that this lines up with that and it's still level. So I almost don't even have to mark these other boards the way I mark this, because then I probably would have to adjust the other ones as I go. But this allows me to make sure all this is level. And since I'm going to be building a roof and I'm going to lop some of these off, it kind of takes away the need of having to level this. And as you see also, it lines up almost perfectly with this back plate or board or panel, for me to be able to screw in here and maybe add a couple finishing nails there. As you see, is just starting to come together. Now what I need to do is start making me a little roof for this thing. So I'll get to that, but I just wanted to show you the progress I made and how it's turning out so far. Okay, as you see by that bubble right there, it don't matter where you put it at, that bubble's right there. Same thing for the back. So got us at least this way level. Now I didn't really put it level at this end because I wanted just enough slope so when I put the roofing on there, because I'm going to cut this part off. What I'm thinking about doing is using some of this metal. This here was all wadded up and inside that creek area when I moved here, and I pulled it out. And like I said, I like to find uses for it. And it's just like some aluminum or some sheet metal. and it needs kind of power washed and flattened a little better. But I'm thinking of what I'm going to do is use a 6.5 foot section, which would go on here, and use that kind of like as a metal roof, and that way I could kind of use what I got. And since again it's for firewood, I don't think it's going to matter what I use for roofing on this. So, and the fact that I could find a use for this, and it's no longer going to sit in the creek, or it end up in a landfill or some junkyard or something somewhere. Well, here's most of it finished. Still got a little bit more finishing work to do to it, kind of trimming up some areas up there and some stuff, and I want to get a tarp to nail on the inside there but could drape over and stuff. But pretty much I just got to start filling this up with some wood, and this is my first time building something like this, so it's kind of a new experience for me. But this wood here is just the tip of the iceberg. What I got to go in there is, like I said, I gotta get to cutting and sawing on all of that, and then I got just a little bitty pile right there is some wood, and then there's some wood on the side of my house around the corner that way. There's a pile of wood. But yeah, so this here is going to be kind of like a little wood shed or wood storage area for firewood, and mostly just be using this so could start burning firewood in the fire pit here, and have some little family get-togethers or something, and we'll have firewood to be able to burn. So, but say we'll get this area a lot cleaner. There's some debris and stuff I still got to pick up here and there, but, and I also got to, in there you can't really see it because of the grass, but there's a stump right there, so I'm probably gonna take that fire ring out of there and put around that stump right there and get ready to burn that stump out of there, and that way I could finish cleaning all this up and start getting this here looking like the rest of the property, nice clean cut. But I just wanted to share this with you, and hope you could enjoy the video, and if you like this here, please give it a thumbs up, and if you like what's going on in the Wrenches and Boards channel, please consider subscribing, and I really appreciate the support, and I hope you have a very, very good day, and thank you for watching.